This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Opposition wants Parade Gardens Zoso expanded. The parliamentary opposition wants to discuss with the government the possibility of expanding the boundaries of the Zone of Special Operations, which was established on Sunday in Parade Gardens, Central Kingston. Opposition spokesman on national security Peter Bunting explained the position of the opposition People's National Party in an interview with the news. He said the right decision was made to implement the ZOSO in light of a surge in crime in the area, but would prefer to see the geographical reach of the operation expanded. We will discuss that with the police and the government when we get an opportunity, he said, stressing that establishment of zones of special operations is one policy matter on which his party does not differ significantly with the Holness administration. Regarding crime situation in Central Kingston especially, he stressed that we've been making this specific recommendation to the government for a long time, and finally they have heeded our advice.
We're often accused of not cooperating, but we've been making this specific suggestion to the government for a long time, and finally they've heeded our advice, and so we welcome it. We have some concerns. We had hoped the boundaries would have been a little wider, but we will discuss that with the police and the government when we get the opportunity.
COVID-19 cases among children on the rise. The news has been informed that the number of COVID-19 cases at Bustamante Hospital for Children continues to increase. There were 32 COVID-19 related patients at the hospital on Sunday, of whom 14 had tested positive for the virus, while 16 children were in isolation and another 2 were suspected cases. Last week, the chief medical officer said Jamaica was now seeing the highest number of children in hospital since the start of the pandemic. Meanwhile, Dr. Melody Ennis, Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, has disclosed that discussions are underway for the provision of COVID-19 vaccines to children aged 5 to 11. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention last November cleared Pfizer's vaccine for children in the 5 to 11 age group.
A lot of the vaccines being administered to children are not at the dose that adults receive. And of course, those are the doses we have in country. So it includes procurement and actually getting the childhood vaccine formulations here in country. But those discussions are underway, sir.
Mm-hmm. So we may very well see us going the route of vaccinating kids 5 years and older very soon.
We may. But again, we are looking at all the logistics that go into making such a move.
Alarming number of healthcare workers testing positive for COVID-19, said MAJ. The Medical Association of Jamaica has reported the number of healthcare workers in Jamaica testing positive for COVID-19 or in quarantine is now at a crisis level. Accordingly, the MAJ is urging that consideration be given to implementing emergency measures at public hospitals. MAJ President Dr. Brian James told the news on Sunday night that it might become necessary to scale back non-emergency services as the number of workers affected by the virus is rising. Since late last month, there has been persistent reports of nurses and doctors becoming ill with the virus. According to Dr. James, the situation has left all public hospitals under extreme pressure. He reported that at some hospitals, scores of workers are off the job after being exposed to the virus. Dr. James told the news that some hospitals are on the verge of curtailing operations with a low number of healthcare workers and a rising patient load.
Right now, it is the number of staff members who are out sick, who are out quarantined, who are out isolated because they've been tested positive or they've been exposed. So and this morning I asked an infection control nurse in one of the major hospitals in Jamaica, how many people do we have off today? because of COVID. How many staff members? And her response in exasperation was the whole hospital. It changes almost hourly. What I know is that some hospitals have over 100 persons, doctors, nurses, other staff who are out on either quarantine, which means that they were exposed and are awaiting their test results, or isolation, which means that they've tested positive. Over 100 in some hospitals, a number of hospitals over 50, certainly in the several dozen persons affected. And of course, that affects non-COVID patients quite badly. People with severe illnesses who need surgery or who need routine treatment, they have to suffer for a much longer period of time because of this new wave.
No more lockdowns, says Holness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has given the clearest indication yet that the country will not be returning to lockdown measures. Holness was responding to a question from Gleaner reporter Tanisha Mundle whether lockdowns will return as part of measures to curb the rising COVID-positive cases. As strident, Mr. Holness insisted that lockdowns will not be featured in the future. At the same time, he's urging everyone to get vaccinated. I know there is great tension in the air, and what this says to me is that people are not listening to what I have said. I have been clear in Parliament, gone overboard to say that we are not going back into lockdown. Be calm. The strategy is go and take the vaccine. That is the strategy. We can't hold you down. If you get sick, take that responsibility. We have sites all over the place. Go and get vaccinated, argument done, said the Prime Minister, who was speaking at a press conference earlier yesterday. 99 members of the JCF recently promoted. 99 rank-and-file members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force were recently promoted. The police personnel were notified of the development in their weekly force orders that were published last week. 19 inspectors were elevated to the rank of deputy superintendent and a sergeant to the rank of assistant superintendent, which saw the group moving from the rank-and-file into the gazetted officer category of the JCF. 40 sergeants have also been promoted to the rank of inspector, while 37 corporal and 2 constable were elevated to the rank of sergeant. The overall promotions took effect from December 1, 2021. Among those who were recently promoted is the current General Secretary of the Jamaica Police Federation, Detective Woman Constable Tamika Thomas, who now holds the rank of sergeant. However, as a result of her promotion, she will no longer be able to hold the office of General Secretary of the Federation and will cease to be among the 8 executive members of the Federation. This is as a result of the eligibility rules that are in place for representation on the Federation, with Thomas now being required to get the endorsement of a different group of members of the JCF to serve on the executive. Free COVID PCR testing at some SERA facilities. The Southeast Regional Health Authority is encouraging members of the public who are experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 to get tested immediately. SERA notes that some of the health facilities in the region, which covers the parishes of Kingston, St. Catherine, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas, offer polymerase chain reaction testing for free to the public. Persons are being asked to make an appointment for PCR testing in Kingston and St. Andrew by calling the Emergency Operations Center for the Health Department at 876-926-155022 or call 876-317-96801. Persons may also send an email to ksahd.eoc@ksahd.com. Walk-in testing is available at the Morante Bay Health Center, St. Thomas, from Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. In addition, persons are being asked to make an appointment for testing in St. Catherine by calling the Health Department's Emergency Operations Center at 876-547-5791. The health departments will make contact with individuals to give them their results, which usually take 3 to 4 working days after tests are conducted. The release forms are also obtained from the health departments. Meanwhile, members of the public are being urged to remain vigilant in their practice of the infection prevention and control measures put in place to reduce the spread of infections. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.